Hello everyone and welcome to GilBroz gaming channel. We're having a live stream again and we're back to watch Con Sweaty's part 4, The Destiny of Rocket Man for his Conflict of Nations North Korea solo campaign. So it's been a while since we've done part 3, but once we're done with part 4 we're also going to be looking at his new current playthrough, which is UK. So let's see what we can learn today and how he's going to get on. Let's do this.
In this episode, you'll see what happens to 6 stacks of support units, surrounded by my elite special forces, with 2 wings of helicopters approaching them. The clash between anti-air and air forces is one of the favorite topics among con players. Result of the battle, you'll find out in just a few minutes. But first, let's go back half a day to the calm and peaceful times when South Africa decided to attack me. Of course, the threat from the new enemy was minimal. He began landing with a weak tank division far from Korea. My submarine is rushing at full speed to attack the South African minions in the process. Later, you'll see how much damage it dealt. I sent my ground forces from Poland towards Bulgaria, as it will help get closer to my opponents in Africa. As for my technologies, I'm upgrading regular helicopters to level 4 and elite ones to level 2. My revenge against Chad will be fully prepared soon. Helicopter mobilization is underway in 3 out of 5 cities at the moment. South Africa has launched a second landing in Indonesia, and my fearless corvette is rushing to punish the uninvited guest. I'm using a rush, because I want to hit the 2nd Tank Division twice. It is definitely worth it. The submarine reached the target and attacked, dealing 30 damage. Not bad at all. My corvette has already attacked twice, dealing 35 damage. A fantastic result for a level 1 corvette.
Hell yeah.
Let's return to the continent.
Good, thank you, mate.
My commando platoon caught a Chad infantry in this province, and seeing that the stealth unit was to blame, he sent his recon division to deal with me. Poland also sent its brazen invaders to boldly seize my territory. The Pole, as always, doesn't let me achieve victory peacefully and attack the airfield I was flying to with a missile. Therefore, I had to redirect my air stacks elsewhere. But at least I will take advantage of the fact that he revealed the position of his missile submarines, and I'll send a corvette to identify their location. Later, I'll also send my elite submarine to assist. Even though the enemy is in deep waters, I can definitely handle him, because Poland is not active at this time of day.
He's paid attention.
Chad just attacked the province where my commandos were stationed with artillery. But he won't be able to capture my ninjas so easily without incredibly significant efforts. Now let's move on to the Polish invaders.
Here comes the elite
my 2
aircraft.
elite attack squadrons are heading toward a motorized infantry that was just about to celebrate capturing my city. I'll have to disappoint him.
Just in
my
range.
Air forces behave toward the enemy like a hawk hunting small rodents. One air raid, and the enemy is caught and dragged into the nest. Chad has restored his air forces and is now sending a wing of fighters to check my airfield and attack afterward. This is a good technique. After the attack, he decided to send his fighters to patrol in a safe place far from the front line. It would have been safe if I didn't know exactly where he was flying and where he would be patrolling. But not at the moment.
Satellite moving across.
My commando identified the composition of the Polish anti-air division. After dealing with the enemy's aircrafts, I'll handle it next. Once my scout discovered the next easy target, I immediately sent my EAA to deal with it. Chad cannot be allowed to capture my airfield. Otherwise, I won't be able to use my short-range helicopters.
I really need to start using
Now let's move on to the air forces.
ESF, I like that.
Currently, I'm monitoring the timing of when the enemy fighters will return to refuel. To do this, I'm using my satellite. Its icon doesn't display because of a bug, but today this bug has already been fixed.
Oh.
The satellite is a real game changer. Let me explain why. Unlike other units that detect signatures using radar or sonar, the satellite detects targets via its sight range. This means it can identify the composition of all non-stealth air stacks currently in the sky as if they were flying over your territory.
That's nuts enough.
It also shows where the enemy is heading, when they patrol, and when they'll return to refuel. It's the perfect tool for dealing with enemy air forces. You just need to be careful with units that demark you. By the way, the same features apply to surface vessels.
Let's see if I can.
I'll demonstrate this a bit later.
Oh, thank you. ESF is
now I'm flying in to catch the fighters on the ground. Boom. The airfield is destroyed.
Nice.
Chad effectively cornered himself through his own miscalculation. So, finishing off the remnants and catching the EAA is just a matter of technique.
I don't think Sweaty sleeps.
My wing of fighters
He's
is
just
approaching the
always
enemy.
on it.
Since the squadron includes a fighter that automatically engages fixed-wing targets, I'll take full advantage of this. I flew into the patrol radius and allowed the enemy to attack me. Afterward, I launched my own attack. 2 strikes for the price of 1. As a result, the target is almost entirely destroyed. In the second air raid, my squadron managed to take down 2 more of Chad's fighters. Excellent. The third attack was equally successful. In the reports, you can see that Chad destroyed my commando. This happened in a province where none of his units could have detected me. Therefore, it's likely that Poland was responsible, having upgraded his UAVs to the maximum level where they become stealth.
Become stealth.
Soon I eliminated Chad's last EAA. No luck for him to play with Air Force in this match.
I think it's a cyborg. Yeah, I think so.
Now let's move on to the Allied forces in India.
Sweaty, the computer.
I've already assessed the strength and composition of these stacks and believe that my 2 helicopter wings will be enough.
Oh
my only concern is the 3rd Anti-Air Division. It's positioned here, in the center, and I decided not to attack it.
Because of the...
Now I can flip enemy forces like I flip a steak on a grill, attacking from whichever side I choose.
AA.
In the first air raid, I destroyed 3 SAMs, and an identical number fell during the second. Helicopter mission accomplished. The remnants of Poland's forces on the western side will be dealt with by my jets. I don't want to waste my helicopters' time on them, since they have a much more important target. After my attack, only 1 infantry and 1 CRV survived. The second airstrike by my Hawk marked the end of the remnants of both divisions.
UAV
now let's move on to the most exciting part.
They do okay damage, and they can... As far
my
as
2 wings of attack helicopters are flying to exact their revenge.
That sounds good.
Contact established. I managed to take a significant bite out of the enemy divisions, especially from the artillery stack. For the next attack I split off 1 helicopter from each wing to strike again without taking any losses. Just a reminder, I must avoid attacking the 3rd Anti-Air Division.
Because of the mobile
The rest
AA.
of the enemy forces might as well be cardboard cutouts, considering the threat they pose to me. 2 more raids like this, and the enemy will be completely wiped out.
That's quite a hefty amount of troops
After
that he's
the 3rd
taken
attack, only 1 infantry remained.
Seems like so easy.
I'll leave the 3rd Anti-Air Division alone, letting it bask in its lonely existence, far away from the action. It's no threat to me anyway. I'll let my helicopters recover their health and then come back for it. The final 4th attack eliminated Chad's ability to capture new territories in India. Victory secured, leaving no room for doubt. Time to heal in my homeland.
We should use more UAVs.
Now let's move on to
good
South
scouts.
Africa's tank division.
Yeah, they are cheap.
Since it's not equipped with anti-air, I can simply drink coffee, read a newspaper, or go for a walk while watching my air forces repeatedly attack the enemy. As you can see, I'm basically the epitome of multitasking genius here, warfare and leisure combined. Given that South Africa doesn't have ports, I don't even need to pay much attention to this area, because he poses no threat to me.
No, if he's only going to bring troops across.
It took 6 attacks to destroy this division, and I managed to get this difficult job done. Now let's move on to the missile submarine. I sent my Corvette, an elite submarine, to neutralize this headache. Admittedly, this venture is quite risky since my ships are highly vulnerable in deep waters. However, I've previously noticed that Poland is inactive at this time of day, so I can attack without worry.
Security Council stuff.
It turned out there were 2 units in this location. After several attacks, I eliminated both.
Nice. Just keep moving
2 days
away,
have
keeping
passed.
at range.
I discovered in the reports that my elite submarine near Indonesia was attacked and destroyed by Poland's elite battle group while I was offline. But we also have good news. My Corvette destroyed a missile submarine near the Philippines. Another victory for the Corvettes, as they send the next submarine down to greet SpongeBob at the bottom.
See,
Polish ships are clearly heading toward Korea. Therefore,
He's not
I've sent my elite
mentioned
wolf pack to intercept them halfway. Now let's take a quick voyage to Ethiopia, where my secret agents have identified a large number of grounded aircrafts. They'll commence a secret mission soon. 180 health points is a lot for
What are
my
they?
special forces to handle, so I'm deploying elite loitering munition.
Loitering munitions. Oh, yeah.
Everything is ready. 5 drones are in the air.
I remember.
The Special
Look
Forces
how cool
Division is
they
on the
are.
move.
I got hit by a
and
few of
spy
them the
music
other
is
day.
playing. The enemy has no chance. And you can see the result. Almost all aircraft have been destroyed.
Wrecked them. What a horrible hit to receive.
The health of my division has already dropped significantly. So I split them into 2 groups to avoid any losses.
That's smart.
The enemy has been eliminated. The ultimate predator is moving toward its new target. 7 hours later, the predator stands before its next prey, salivating. This time Ethiopia has only 6 helicopters and 1 fighter.
That's crazy.
A short break was
So
necessary
you
for me
kind
to
of boost the
reuse
health
drones
a little bit
again.
of the weaker ones.
I launched
Therefore
3
not losing a
drones,
unit.
and sent 2 battalions to attack,
That's
each
clever.
with 2 special guys. This time, I took my previous mistake into account, when my special forces engaged before all drones had attacked, resulting in more health loss than necessary. Therefore, this time my drones will attack first, then the infantries will come. As a result,
loitering.
the enemy's health dropped from 105 to 43.
Boom.
This is a manageable task for my saboteurs. 2 attacks later the enemy was eliminated. One could confidently conclude that all enemy air
Special
forces
forces
have now
are
been
useful.
neutralized. Fantastic final for me, and tragic for my opponents.
They're stealth, by the way, so you wouldn't see it coming. No, they're just sitting in there.
Now let's move on to Poland's battle group.
Oh, and the loitering. Oh
My
God.
Death Star has arrived at the
Just things
location and
start just
identified
blowing
the
up.
target's composition. It turned out to be a naval officer, 5 cruisers, and 6 frigates.
Ooh.
This is an excellent situation for me, because the enemy has grouped all these units into one stack.
They're going to
This
be weak.
means he suffers a speed debuff, giving me the opportunity to attack them more times in shallow waters.
Hey, Tommy, how's it going?
Currently I'm researching the helicopter officer and upgrading my
Oh, you
radar
watched
to
the
level
7K
5.
playthrough.
At this level it
7K,
can
which
unmask
one's that?
stealth air targets, which will be
Oh,
crucial
Seven
for countering
Kingdoms.
Poland's
Oh,
UAVs.
yes, yeah, I'm
The
thinking,
officer
yeah.
will also be helpful
Yeah, I'm
in
glad you
attacking
enjoyed it,
Chad's
man.
large anti-air divisions.
What a game. 7 Kingdoms is great. You could play it
Using a
loads as
rush,
kid.
I arrived perfectly at the edge of the shallow waters and launched my first attack, destroying 1 cruiser and 1 frigate. I also discovered that the stack includes 3 submarines. This unit can unmask me, but only at a distance of 25.
So he's trying to stay out
So
of range.
it's not fatal. Quite the opposite. It's great because the more units the enemy has, the slower he becomes. Moreover, submarines have a health debuff in shallow waters. Poland is doing everything to facilitate his destruction.
Holy moly.
The enemy will soon reach deep
What
water,
chance do you have
where I
against
can't
someone
chase
that's
him.
this active like
While
all
we're
the
still
time?
in this relatively large patch of coastal waters,
This
I need
must
to
have
take full
taken
advantage
hours.
of the situation and attack the enemy as many times as possible. I didn't miss this opportunity and managed to deliver 4 powerful strikes.
This
In
guy's on
total I
another
destroyed
level,
4
telling you.
frigates, 2 cruisers, and 2 submarines.
His understanding
It's
of the
time to
game
quickly
is so
return to
good.
base and prepare to repel
We've
the next
played on
assault
his team
Korean
before.
soil.
If you guys haven't seen it before, we've played with Con Sweaty on the GGTO team.
Meanwhile, noticing that I
Brilliant
didn't keep
player.
Polish cities
It's
under
good to
my
have him on the
control,
team as well.
which led to insurgents taking them, the Pole decided to regain control of his former territories. As you can see, he has plenty of forces. Additionally, he annexed several cities in Kenya and began mobilization there. In his homeland cities, he has already
Sweaty said
started
he's lost
building
6
army
times,
bases and
but that
arms
was at the
industries.
start when he started playing. Oh man.
Believing in yourself is important, but this is just too much. A comeback is only possible if your
Took him
opponents
6
are largely
games to
inactive,
master it.
and considering that his coalition cannot put up any resistance against me, it's simply insane. I approached the enemy's mobile SAM with
All
my
this
radar
from
and
North
launched a
Korea.
swarm attack. Since recently, the radar is a powerful combat unit, not just a helpless support tool. You can also see that the Pole
Really?
managed to damage the airfield
The
where
radar
I'd
can
forgotten
fight?
2 of my elite attack aircrafts with a missile. Fortunately, the enemy didn't attack further, likely due to missile cooldown. Finally, my radar defeated the enemy's anti-air. Let's return to Poland's battle group. I successfully returned home
Yeah,
just
so
in
we
time
believe
and
him.
attacked
Yeah,
the Pole,
dude.
destroying 2 more ships.
He's AI. Of course we believe him.
He attacked Pyongyang with his battle group, but saw nothing in the
Cyborg
reports
Sweaty.
because I had repositioned my AA division. It was obvious
Look,
to
all
me that
them
the enemy
loitering.
would try exactly this,
Are they loitering?
destroy my
They look
missile
like it.
defense and follow up with missile
Oh my
strikes.
days.
This has become an
There's so
obsessive
many.
idea, trying to hit my capital with missiles and hoping for a miracle.
He's taking them all
But
out.
that's not going to happen. My anti-air simply intercepted all 12 targets.
Oh my god.
The funniest part is that the Pole messaged me saying he uses missiles to boost his KD ratio. I'm very skeptical that this strategy works. I continued harassing the enemy with my submarines.
All of that?
First, I destroyed another frigate.
Free theater systems.
Then, during the 7th
one at the
attack,
back.
another cruiser was sent to the depths to set up an underwater base for his surface vessels. However,
Set up an
I underestimated
underwater base.
his ability to escape, and the enemy managed to flee. I also tried attacking him with my helicopters. But, his officer had 21 health points left and retreated to deep waters. Quite unfortunate.
Oh man.
Now let's return to the Polish uprising. Naval signatures revealed another
He's got
attempt
his
by
naval
Polish
aircraft. I'm
minions
now
to flee the
starting to try and
battlefield.
use those.
I had just attacked them with my naval strike fighters, destroying one CRV. 8 hours later, I detected a slow-moving air signature.
I need to check
Clearly,
out the
these were
attack
the same
damage of these
escapees.
radars.
Shortly after, I noticed multiple signatures and realized the Pole
Yeah,
had
those
sent
can
his units
spread
to
them
flee
all out.
separately.
Oh man.
To catch
Sweet.
them, I had to split my fighter wing. I'd only have one chance since my airfield was too far away to allow a second attack.
Incoming.
With one fighter I destroyed the first green dot, and 3
Naval
others were
aircraft,
sent to
so
intercept
good.
the remaining
I'm
targets.
gonna start using them in our game that we've got going at the moment.
At the moment,
UK.
it's not entirely clear
Loads
where the
more Polish
escaping
troops
units are
coming over.
located, so I'm occasionally pressing the attack button to pinpoint their position, and then covering them with my patrol radius.
Oh my days.
I successfully managed to eliminate all 6 flying squirrels. Now I happily fly away to refuel.
This radar uses the elite munition, so that's
A
why
bit
they
later,
can destroy
I
stuff.
noticed a naval signature near Indonesia. I had a brilliant
I'll
idea
deploy.
to catch
Oh,
it
he
using my
puts the-
drone.
Oh,
Unfortunately, it didn't work.
it's I've never
Next
used
time
any
I'll
of them
try from the
things.
other side of the
I
strait.
need to do that as well. So you can put loitering
I managed
munitions
to
out
intercept the
using that.
target with my Corvette and
That's
allowed the
nuts.
enemy to attack me. Since I know Poland has a security council, it means he will automatically attack me as soon as he spots me and is able to attack. This will buy me time until my elite submarine arrives, ensuring the enemy doesn't escape into deep waters. Amusingly,
booking it.
this battle group also included 2 infantries.
Morbius team.
They were
hey,
the
man.
reason my
Con
radar
Sweaty, smart
detected the
player,
naval
just uses
signature.
all the mechanics in the game. Yeah,
I attacked
he's
the battle
understanding
group
the
with
game.
my
He's
helicopters, destroying both infantry units. Only the
I don't think
submarine
my brain
remained.
could handle it. That's why he's a cyborg.
After several attacks, it was destroyed as well. Let's count this as another point for my coastal defense forces. By the score, you can already see we're getting closer to victory. So, I need to squeeze out every possible opportunity in the remaining time. My satellite detected 2 Russian
of them.
corvettes near an Ethiopian city.
He's got loitering everywhere.
One drone, and both were destroyed.
Is that Spec Ops can do loitering as well?
Now let's move on to a tastier target. Of course, I'm talking
Probably
about
why
the
he
Ethiopian
blood
naval
6
officer.
times, yeah.
The problem is that, like high-level
Yeah, look.
frigates, the officer has drone defense. Therefore, I decided to attack with 1 drone at a time.
I need to look into this more.
This way, the drone defense strength decreases after each attack, making every next drone more effective.
Oh, really?
It
One
took
at a
7
time.
attacks to finally finish this fight with a victory.
Holy moly.
At least this naval officer didn't escape from me in this match.
Look at that.
Let's look at the losses.
All from being hidden.
Against all enemies, the losses are around 30 to 40,000, and against Poland, they're 70,000.
Oh,
They failed to trample me with sheer numbers. Now let's check how many units I have at the end of the match.
look at all them.
You can see all screenshots. To be honest, this is the smallest and least upgraded army I've had at the moment of victory. But that's
National
the challenge
Guard.
of playing
He's
as
got
North Korea.
Some of them
You simply
basically
can't have a large army due to lack of resources.
loads and loads
However,
of aircraft.
there's no denying that every unit was incredibly useful and
Of
played
all
its key
types.
role at the right moment in the match.
Not bombers though.
And here it is, the moment has
He was
arrived.
doing a 1v4. Yeah. They're all on.
No one doubts.
No one can
Rocket
stop
Man
him. Look at that
triumphant.
map.
Con News. And all subscribers of this
Rocket Man
channel are reporting
triumphant.
live from Rocket Man's victory celebrations.
He has done it.
Congratulations on
1943
this
out
historic
of
moment.
1850. He smashed it. Holy
Let's take a
smokes.
look at the remaining enemy forces. The first thing we see is Cuba's
Cuba coming
fleet.
in.
Here we have 2
The world
brilliant
unite
battle
against
groups
him,
made up
surely.
of frigates and cruisers. They are brilliant because one unit has a range of 50, while the other has a range of 100.
It's Africa's National Guards are
Next
good.
is
We have
Poland's
Air
battle
Force
group that
and
managed to escape from me.
SF. Special Forces.
Now let's move on to the continent, to Ethiopia.
Morbius, he
A
abuses
single
mixed
large tank
stacks,
division
so
is all
he
that
takes less
remains.
damage
You can
when
now
hitting
see how
low
many
AA
units my
or
opponents
mixed
have left.
MLRS stacks.
Germany has the most units remaining,
Uses
but that's
mixed
because he
heli
evacuated
stacks
his
to
forces
counter
into the
SAMs.
water and chose not to
Nice.
fight me. Chad also has a considerable number of units left, 49 in total. After I destroyed his stacks in India, he
Chad
messaged
still
me,
has a lot
saying he
left.
didn't want to fight anymore and that I could capture Germany's lands for my victory. But I
How
couldn't
do people
attack such a
chuck so
peaceful
much
guy.
troops out?
His neutrality should also be met with my
I
neutrality.
don't get it.
As for Chad's forces, he still has 4 rather large divisions of anti-air and artillery. Additionally, these units are very well upgraded. Perhaps he has also been watching tutorials on YouTube. Finally, let's move on
Yeah.
to Germany.
It's clever
On one
if you can
island
do
there are
it.
20
It's a game
planes.
mechanic, isn't it?
All his ground units and navy are hidden on the edge
Hey,
of the
Tucker,
map
how's it
near
going?
Greenland.
You
This
miss almost
profile had an
everything. That's right, you can
exceptionally
always
high
catch
KG
up.
ratio,
We
around
are going to
19
be
at the
looking
start
at
of the match.
UK games he's got
It seems he
on after
decided
this
not
one
to
as
ruin
well.
his stats to avoid creating
So
another
there is
new
more
account.
coming.
Thank
It's
you
a
to
long old
everyone who
stream.
watched this video until the end.
Man, Sweaty, you are a legend.
See you
this
soon.
is so good. Okay, we now got...
In today's episode,
Hello.
you will witness how the country that initiated Brexit returns to Europe.
We're going straight
with fresh
on.
determination
I
to
knew what I
enforce law
wanted.
and order throughout the new British Empire. However, Germany is not planning to surrender so easily, and imposes sanctions on elite units. What will be the
We go
outcome of this
straight
confrontation?
into the UK
You'll find
game.
out in just a few minutes. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button and drop a comment.
We're
roasting
changing
my
our
strategies.
way of doing
Bonus points
his
for creativity.
reaction videos. We're going to
Who
be
knows?
reacting to
Your
a bunch
wit
of
might end
videos,
up in the next video.
like once a month or something.
Hello
whenever
and
I can
welcome
get
to
them
a new
done,
campaign
like we
as
are
the United
tonight.
Kingdom on the
we'll
nuclear
do
winter
the
map.
rest of these on the next
Please
one.
note, this recording was
couple
made during
at the
Season
moment.
15, so this map differs from the nuclear winter available now.
Yeah,
As
the
always,
nuclear winter
I
is
start
weird.
by
I don't
constructing
like
army
it.
bases and recruiting offices in all cities except the capital.
Is
Since
this the one
this
you guys
time, we
played
have
with
the
him?
privilege of playing as a 6-cities nation.
Swear
I'll
you're a
reserve the
legend, you're
mobilization
GGO
queue in the capital for my
GGTO's favourite
superior
ally.
fighters.
Yeah, man.
I sent my troops to gather in Belfast to prepare for an attack on my nearest neighbor. After that, I began researching combat recon vehicles. I'm not
Recon
starting any
vehicles?
other research yet, just in case urgent measures are required. For example, I might need to quickly research and build corvettes.
I like to
Placed
get
my
Corvettes
orders on
out
the
as
market
UK.
for electronics,
Just,
rare
you get a
materials
day
and fuel,
ahead of
hoping to
everyone
snag
else,
something at a
waiting for
low
frigates.
price and save more money to crash the global stock market, and bribe politicians in all other countries. A bit later, I started constructing arms industries in cities with the same resources. The CRV research is complete, and I can begin mobilization everywhere.
It's left one free.
I'll use them to capture Ireland.
So we can get
Now I
aircraft.
just need to wait for their construction to finish and start my invasion.
No.
The arms industry construction in London is complete, and I've started
No,
mobilizing
he's
my
playing
first
this while we
fighter.
played.
Additionally,
we first
I'm
played
building a
with him
level 2 airbase
almost 2
since I
months
need
ago.
to begin
Oh, man,
constructing
okay.
elite attack aircraft as soon as possible. Moreover, naval base construction in Glasgow
So
will
he's
start
instantly
soon.
thinking needs to
I
get
also
his
need
elite
corvettes
aircraft.
ASAP to defend
Really
against naval
still haven't
invasions
built
from
one.
Iceland or France. Honestly, I don't enjoy playing as island nations because it requires building a large navy to protect all coastal cities. By the beginning of day 3, I had already gathered my forces and begun my imperialistic invasion of Ireland. My first corvette is also being mobilized, and my fighter
So
will
he sent
soon
a
be ready for
bunch of
action.
forces over there. There's
I had
more
to leave
cities
some
there, dude.
troops in cities close to Europe in case of an imperialistic invasion of me. From the northern side, corvettes will provide protection. This means I can wreak havoc without the risk of retaliation. First, I decided to capture Dublin as I'm a big fan
All
of Guinness
those-
beer and need to visit its birthplace. There's also an airfield
All
here
those
for
grey
deploying my
areas that you
fighters,
see
but
are
that's
like
a secondary
ice.
goal.
So no one has them.
This map has no artillery, but
Can't
every
go in it.
capital starts with mechanized infantry, which I have already destroyed. Soon
Yeah, it's
Dublin
not the
came
best
under my
arrest here,
control,
no.
and we're moving toward the next target. I attacked Athlone and eliminated the 1st Infantry.
I've been to Belfast.
However,
that was
I
nice.
noticed that my infantry's lost about 25% of their health, so I need to split the division to avoid losing a unit. You can also see how a guy with a rocket launcher is attacking Dublin.
The heck?
My battalion has lost more than half its health, so I sent
Guerrilla
planes
army.
to assist.
What's that?
Here are the stats of this guerrilla army. Its strength is much higher compared to regular insurgents. This will slow down my progress by about twofold.
No, it's not an S tier.
It's so frustrating that I'll call them
Yeah, you
guerrilla
did
army
just say.
from now on. Because of them, I'll need to keep at least 2 units in every city. I've reached the city of Cork and will soon eliminate its defenders. My Corvette is also keeping busy slowly chipping away at its target. Meanwhile, I've also sent infantry to run around the island.
So he's got more Air Force coming out already. He's already
I started
got ASFs.
researching elite attack aircraft. Once I build even 1 unit, capturing AFK players will no longer be an issue.
Well, just one.
6 hours later, I successfully captured Galway with the help of a recon division and fighters, and I'm now moving to the last Irish city, whose defenses have already been weakened by my Corvette. The last infantry unit in Sligo will soon be sent to the depths to feed the British sharks. Thus, I've conquered all of Ireland without losses.
No.
My first victory in this match.
Of course we have, they're everywhere. Just little ones.
A day later, I landed in the Benelux, who without any hesitation, granted me right of way. In London, I began mobilizing elite attack aircraft and constructing a hospital. In Glasgow, my 3rd Corvette is already under construction. It's clear that I'm channeling all resources into strong military units and absolutely not into upgrading arms industries or even worse, into infantry units. In addition to this, I'm keeping an eye on Iceland's activity. He's one of my closest neighbors, and his constructions are frightening.
Oh, look, Iceland can be
He's
used
already
now.
building a level 3 naval base, so soon he will have destroyers or submarines. Once I finish my raid in Europe, I'll need to pay him a visit as soon as possible. My minions cross the channel via the underwater tunnel and are heading toward Paris. Meanwhile, my aircraft are busy eliminating troops in Calais. Everything is going perfectly. Paris is now under my control, but I've spotted a large German division approaching. Perhaps it's best to capture Germany before raiding Iceland.
I need to build some.
The constructions on German soil are not particularly impressive. 2 level 1 air bases and a level 2 naval base.
Terrible.
Meanwhile, my Corvettes are attacking the city of Nevers. I'd like to capture France as quickly as possible and keep it out of German hands. Soon Germany declared war on me. He also messaged me, explaining that the reason was his troops being stuck on my province and that he had no intention of fighting. However, since I was already prepared for war, I have no intention of stopping it.
Might as well continue.
My air forces launched their strike and destroyed 2 units.
Got a 6 and a 1, down to a 3 and a 1. Ooh.
At the same time, my Corvettes are heading back to the channel. Germany likely has its own Bismarck that I'll need to deal with.
He's probably got to get ready for Iceland coming down. Elite
I've researched royal guards to protect my future territories and started recruiting them.
Nation in a day.
My second EAA is also under construction.
He's getting another elite
Germany's
aircraft.
Coalition also includes Iceland and Spain, placing me in the center of their Bermuda Triangle. Consequently, each of them will soon lose their compass and disappear without a trace.
Germany and Spain.
I temporarily shifted focus to German forces in Brussels, as I want to capture the city myself and prevent the enemy from using the local airbase to attack me. I'm also trying to catch the remnants of a division near Paris, but my efforts proved unsuccessful. An hour later, the German Luftwaffe is chasing my poor aircrafts. Regrettably, I couldn't escape, and the enemy managed to attack me. Thankfully, I didn't lose any of my air minions.
You didn't? Oh.
I'll now try to catch the enemy on the ground in Frankfurt.
So those are
my aircraft are sunny days ahead, just like London's typical weather, because another German fighter soon joined the fray. Luckily, he flew alone. He attacked, but since I had plenty of health, I survived this act of violence. Afterward, I waited for his first squadron to land and attacked it, destroying 1 ASF.
Nice.
Near an iceberg, I spotted a naval signature but got too close, resulting in taking a hit. The battle report log revealed it was a Corvette, and based on the damage it dealt, it must have been only 1 Corvette. Perfect, I can handle this.
Based on the damage.
It quickly became evident that the Corvette was heading north, skimming along my coastline and passing the iceberg.
So based on the damage, he knows roughly how much
I found no
does
resistance,
damage-wise,
so I decided to seize the opportunity and focus on attacking scattered German forces before they could consolidate into a single division. Interestingly, as the messages revealed, my opponent cast his vote for Brexit. But unlike him, I personally got Brexit done. That's why I can't join any coalition in this match. Even and especially if I get some offers.
Sweaty for PM.
I caught up with and attacked the German crews. Take note of how I use the 3-click technique of hit and run. by dragging instead of pressing the attack and move buttons after engagement.
Oh yeah.
I also decided to send a second corvette to the coastal waters of the Benelux, just in case the German decided to attack my corvettes with his aircrafts. In that scenario, my corvettes would shred the Luftwaffe faster than they would sink themselves. Meanwhile, the enemy vessel keeps drifting northward toward an unknown destination. I also decided to capture a Danish island to build an airfield there, enabling my aircraft to reach Iceland.
Ah.
I'm
Good
continuing to attack German forces, exploiting the enemy's failure to group them together. This way, I'm eliminating them quickly and with maximum efficiency. While the enemy fighters attack my corvette, I can circle around German ground forces as much as I want. Thankfully, the distance from London to Brussels is quite short.
Yeah.
In the north, I'm still
He's
pursuing
speeding up
German
here,
pirates.
trying to keep on top
To
of them.
prepare for a
There you
potential
go.
attack from Iceland,
Quick attack,
I'll leave
back
one
off.
corvette stationed here. While one of my fighters distributes damage within my air stack, the other is recovering health in London, where I'm already constructing a level 2 hospital.
Imagine 5 elite aircraft. Yeah.
Soon my privateers destroyed
pretty
the
epic.
German vessel and
He
went
seems
to
to team
spend
it
their
up
loot
with
in
a
the
bit of
port city of
ASF as well,
Glasgow.
don't he, to sort of protect. I guess they're like the meat shields.
After that, I eliminated German forces in the Benelux and captured Brussels. It's safe to say the enemy is halfway to being defeated. I've started researching naval air superiority fighters. These should provide significant support in aerial battles, like the one I recently had with Germany. Being the greedy player, I wasted no time clearing France of enemy forces. I aim to
Straight
capture
in.
Nevers by the end of the day to boost its morale and reduce the chances of insurgency. This means my air force will have to make its presence known. While I'm handling business in France, German fighters are circling near my ships, which are busy attacking German infantry. At least they aren't chasing my planes or patrolling over London.
They're putting up a fair
I was
fight,
hoping to
be
capture
fair.
Frankfurt,
That's
but
pretty
there's a
good.
recon division stationed there. However,
Yeah, that's
it has
why
already
I
lost
do
a
with
significant
my
amount of health,
ASF naval
practically
strikers and
inviting me to
strikers.
attack.
Damage distribution. They are more
Germany
durable
finally
together.
grew bored and
Good to know.
decided to attack my recon battalion with his fighters. Now I'll try to catch them while they are refueling in Berlin. As you've likely noticed, I now have 2 EAAs and managed to arrive in Berlin just in time. Unfortunately,
Got
I didn't
straight over
destroy
Berlin.
anything during the air raid, but I certainly inflicted significant damage. The next strike targeted Western Germany, where scattered troops are running back and
National
forth
Guard
along our
division
new
in
border.
there.
I don't know the exact location of the German fighters, so I won't risk flying over enemy territory. Short-range airstrikes are exactly what I need right now. Soon my corvette's radar detected the location of German fighters. I decided to move closer so the enemy's patrol area would overlap with my corvette's sight range. Now I see that the fighter squadron has only 23 health left. Excellent news.
That is good news.
While the enemy is idle, I continue attacking 3 groups of troops in the west.
He's constantly spying
As a result,
and keeping an eye on things, so he knows
I
exactly when
eliminated 2
people
more
are online,
infantries.
what they're up to. It's great.
Germany finally lost patience and decided to attack my ground forces with his fighters. Unfortunately, I won't make it to Berlin in time to catch them on the ground this time. But I'll certainly try again if the opportunity arises.
Just got
On
to be
the other
ready
hand,
to catch him on
the
the ground.
opponent has graciously provided me with the
Sit
chance to
duck.
attack 4 units at once. How generous of Germany to assist in his own downfall. The fighters attacked my ground forces for the second
More
time.
troops coming in.
However, this time I was already refueled and ready to deliver vengeance at the enemy's airbase. Full speed ahead.
There we go.
I made it there, but unfortunately, I only managed to destroy 1 infantry unit. On the bright side, I can now confidently say the fighters are 1 bite away from being finished. Clearly visible now, they're down to just 4 HP.
Cool.
The remaining ground forces are also nearly wiped out. All that's left is 1 final push. The second fighter managed to attack my recon battalion, but using the patrol technique, I took it down. Be
Nice.
gone from my sight.
Easy.
The next
Some
air
of the
raid
threat
marked the end of my
Make
confrontation
him
with
mop up
Germany.
the floor
In the
So he deals with
report,
the air
you can
stuff
see that I
first.
destroyed a second
Takes priority.
ASF using my air
because
minions.
of the threat.
Afterward, I plotted routes across the entirety of German territory and captured it without resistance, as all enemy forces had already been eliminated.
Yeah, he smashed them.
In the news, you can see the results of the war.
Wow.
Despite the enemy being online throughout the whole fight, he couldn't do anything to stop me.
17,000.
3 days
Compared to
later,
1,000.
my forces are already returning home from their European conquest.
Mad.
I'm now preparing for war with Iceland.
He's going up to Iceland in the
You'll
next
see the
episode.
continuation of my island expansion in the next part.
Let's go and have a look
Some
then.
say
Straight
its
in.
hull is made of foil, but at least it shines in the sun. Unfortunately for today's hero, we are on the old nuclear winter map, where the sun never shows
Okay,
itself.
he's now taking the fight over to Iceland.
Hello and welcome to the second part of the
Look
United
at it.
Kingdom campaign. In this episode, you will witness how my fearless Corvette battle group will harass a fleet of destroyers, like a swarm of mosquitoes. After that, you'll experience yet another time-honored tradition among Air Force enthusiasts. Executing precise airstrikes against a frigate, while maneuvering to avoid any counterattacks from its AA defenses, rendering it
Awesome.
completely helpless.
Against the frigate.
This, and many more of my Imperial secrets, you'll find out in just a few minutes.
Many more of my Imperial
Let's go back to the
secrets.
quiet times, when my forces are returning from their European conquest. I am making preparations for the invasion of Iceland by gathering my fleet into a single group and constructing an airfield on an island that will help me reach Iceland's homeland cities. The only new structure my opponent has built
Yeah,
is a
he's
level
smashed
2
out.
army base.
Germany's gone.
Everything else remains unchanged. The only real threat is the level 3 naval base, which means my corvettes will have a tough time dealing with enemy ships. Over the past 3 days, I have built a level 2 airbase in Manchester, and started mobilizing strike fighters. Additionally, the 4th EAA is being mobilized in London. My total air force currently consists of 7 aircraft.
7.
As you can
Is that
see,
it?
I haven't been wasting time during the time skip.
He seems to do so much with it. It's
Regarding
mad.
research, while I was busy sleeping and working, I researched standard
You
and
don't
naval
sleep
strike
or work,
fighters.
I know it.
I also upgraded my ASF to level 2, and it is now upgrading to level
There we
3.
go, straight down to...
At this stage, I have the necessary fighter set up to begin
so he's
extensive
still
force
doing his
building.
ASFs as well.
Now is the perfect time to start researching radar.
Okay.
To mobilize
get
it,
secure,
I have
then
queued up
get
the
radars.
construction of a level 2 army base.
Just queuing that up.
In the rankings, Ukraine is right behind me. He seems to be a decent player,
Damocles.
with a KD around 5.
Hey, he's in one of our games.
So far his constructions are not too impressive. All structures are now level 1, except for one army base, but I'll be
Dear.
keeping an eye on him. I have begun secretly moving corvettes towards Iceland. However,
Sure he's in the
my
Discord.
attempt at secrecy
Am I wrong?
failed,
Is that the-
as the enemy
is that the
spotted me
wrong
with his
name?
fighters. Hopefully, he is offline and didn't notice anything.
So he knows he's offline.
Additionally,
he's hoping he's offline.
I am transferring the Royal Air
He's probably
Force to the
quite aware
Danish
that he's
island.
offline, I reckon.
With them,
He seems to
I
be
can
able to
also
watch
take down the
everything.
annoying fighter that is revealing my
And then
corvettes.
Cyborg hack into it.
Like a ninja, I slipped past the
Like a
destroyers.
ninja. He's slipping
2 of them are
past stuff,
positioned
look.
near the city of Hoofn and at least 1 is docked at the harbor.
If he's not
For
online,
naval
he's not going
combat,
to see it at
my
all.
battle group needs to stay in shallow waters,
Wait,
and the
what?
ideal
There's no
spot
way.
for this is the coastal shelf along Iceland. That way, my corvettes will have the advantage of speed. The time has come to declare war.
Right.
Like a true gentleman, I informed my opponent in advance through
Oh.
diplomatic channels, rather than rudely invading foreign territory without notice. However, my message wouldn't have arrived in time even with express delivery. But through express delivery, I
Yeah,
swiftly
he's in
bombed
our
the city and
Discord.
struck
Who
the
was he
destroyer
again?
battle group at the same time.
Didn't Ken Ramps play against him?
This will
He's a
significantly
player with
ease the
promise.
job for my corvettes, in case the enemy wakes up
Sure
and
of it.
attempts to resist. My fighter squadron is on
recently.
route to intercept the enemy fighter squadron we spotted earlier, while my corvettes
So he had a
boldly
little
charge
scout
at a
out
much stronger
first.
opponent.
He's got his aircraft over there.
As you
just
can
keeping
see,
an
I'm
eye on things.
approaching using rush, then pressing the stop button, and immediately retreating. This
He's gonna
entire
use these
process
to
takes
destroy
less than a
that.
second.
But he's doing it in such a way.
Given
you know,
our
just
difference in
range
speed,
and range
the
out.
enemy doesn't have enough time to react. Before
He's
we go any
loitering with his
further,
aircraft.
it's important to mention that as of early February 2025, there is a bug that interferes with executing this maneuver. Let me explain what I mean. When I change my fleet's direction and press rush, the ships sail in the wrong direction for a few seconds before correcting their course. This means if I attack the enemy and try to retreat using rush, my ships will initially sail toward the enemy, instead of away from them. Thus,
This doesn't
rush not
happen
only fails to
immediately.
assist in escaping, but actively hinders retreat, and increases the chance of taking a counterstrike. Until this bug is fixed, I recommend simply avoiding rush when retreating.
Oh.
There is another workaround.
He's Ukraine. He's
If
the
you
one
perform
playing
the
Morocco
same
in
actions in
Algeria.
the mobile version, the ships will immediately move in the correct direction after
It's a
pressing
small
rush.
world.
As the footage demonstrates, the ships are gliding flawlessly in the intended direction, executing maneuvers with the precision of a Swiss timepiece. Therefore, the mobile version works without problems. To summarize, my conclusion is until the bug is fixed, either use the mobile app for naval battles, or avoid using rush when retreating.
There you go, tip of the day.
With that
I
out
can't
of the
do
way,
things like this. I'm not
let's return
online
to our
enough.
nuclear campaign.
Can't react like that.
Right now I'm maneuvering around the enemy fighter.
He's got an
My
aircraft out
opponent
watching,
is visible to me since my
that
view
little
range
channel.
overlaps with his patrol radius, but at the same time I remain invisible to him.
How? Just outside.
I waited
of
for the
theirs.
perfect moment to enter
So-
his patrol circle, let him attack me first, and then finish him off using my own patrol. Let's
Boom.
move on to the next
Wow.
episode.
They lost one though.
I could of course give you a detailed report of how I sweatily fought against an AFK player with a KD ratio
Sweatily,
15
yeah.
times lower than mine. But instead let's quickly watch my corvettes and aircraft attacks without unnecessary explanations and read the comments where I invited people to mercilessly roast my strategies. I
can't believe
received
he's
one
doing this
comment
with
with 3
corvettes.
quotes. The first compares my playstyle to playing chess using only pawns. A great thought. Though
No
I always get
strategy,
the
just no
impression that I'm the
skill,
one
really.
playing against pawn-only players, who mostly rely on ground
Would
stacks,
pay to
including
win
tanks,
units while the
and
rest
push
of
in
us are
only
on
one direction.
Military think tanks. Honestly, the thing.
The second quote is
He's
about
conquering
pay-to-win
his
units,
Wi-Fi bandwidth
while everyone
with all
else
that
is running
troops
military think tanks. This is absolute
Who
truth.
got winning? Sweaty
I
versus.
always use elite units because they are little
Mock.
game changers,
Mock.
and of course, I'm delighted when my
Damocles.
opponents
That's
don't
not
have
his
them.
name. Yeah. I would imagine sweaty,
Speaking
but I don't
of
know
elite
yet.
units, let me share a useful trick with you.
Sweaty's super sweaty.
If you, for example, spot a level 4 airbase and suspect your opponent has a satellite, you can open the season leaderboard, go to history, select the relevant season, and check if the player has the season badge.
Oh,
In this case, I'm looking for the name of a player who played as South Africa.
he searched up
He has the
Damocles.
badge, but if he didn't, I could
He
sleep
got
peacefully.
worried.
This method allows you to check if your opponents have access to any other seasonal units. It also works for units unlocked later. For
This guy does
instance,
his
you can
research
see
into
that in
people.
first seasons, I didn't earn enough points, but I unlocked the units when they were available again. And the final quote is about how I'm conquering my Wi-Fi bandwidth by spamming endless waves of troops. That's also true. I usually build a lot of them to avoid resource idling, and I also recommend everyone do the same, so I can gain more experience on random maps.
Yeah, makes sense.
Thanks to the user
Pretty much any strategy game,
JadenB1766
you don't
for
want to
the
be
engagement.
sitting on resources. However,
I look forward to more of your mockery,
help
and
it.
please don't limit yourself. Also, please write in the comments whether you found this section funny. As for my battle with Iceland, I attacked all available targets with my aircraft, and finished off the rest with corvettes. It was not difficult because the enemy didn't take any countermeasures. And that's how
Just
my
a dead
island
bombardment.
campaign came to an end.
He could put one on each of these, no issue.
3 days have passed, and we are back on the continent, where I am invading Spain, the last
think he
remaining
knows they're in
member
the
of the
same
coalition
Discord,
that
which
surrounded me. During this period I not only cleared out Iceland, but also upgraded my strike fighters to level 3. And at this moment my radar is also being upgraded to 3rd level, as well as my ASF to level 4. Just like a watchful hawk I am keeping an eye on Ukraine's constructions.
Keep
And
an
I
eye
must
on
confess,
Damocles.
they are turning me into a
I
frightened
wonder if it
mouse.
is the same player.
Ukraine
Correct,
has
it
built
must be,
infrastructure in his capital for mobilizing special forces. Additionally, a level 4 army base is under construction, along with 3 level 1 air bases. If my future opponent is building not just to scare me, things could get tough.
Don't forget to check out his channel,
Back
guys.
to
That's
Spain.
the channel down here. Look.
I attacked an infantry signature,
what I've pushed.
which turned out to be a group of mercenaries. For my air force, that's nothing more
Christ.
than a light snack for a single flight. However, in the next part you will certainly witness the kind of traditional multi-front battles our
Crap.
suspect your opponent has a satellite. Also, please write instructions. And I must confess, they are
Sorry.
turning me into a frightened mouse.
I messed up. I shouldn't touch the mouse.
Ukraine has built infrastructure in his capital for
You think
mobilizing
it's him?
special forces.
Yeah, gotta be.
Additionally, a level 4 army base is under construction, along with 3 level 1 air bases. If my future opponent is building not just to scare me, things could get tough. Back to Spain. I attacked an infantry signature, which turned out to be a group of mercenaries. For my air force, that's
All these
nothing more
troops
than a
down
light
here.
snack for a single flight.
No hope. He could do it with just the aircraft.
A little later, I decided to check out a naval signature.
Spanish frigate.
It turned out to be a level 1 frigate. It's not the best target, but one my aircraft can handle.
Your aircraft can handle it.
Later, I took fire from it.
So
You might call this a misplay, but I'd argue it was a high skill maneuver that allowed me to determine exactly when anti-air fires in this match.
Oh. 908.
Spain began retreating from our border, but that didn't save him. My strike fighter wing caught up with the infantry division and wiped
So
it
he
out.
wanted to get hit because AA fires all at the same time.
Now a much more interesting target awaits my air minions.
Every hour.
Of course I'm talking about the frigate. Some believe that frigates are an unbeatable enemy for air forces. However, for the fighter stacks I use, even a battle group of 5 frigates is a target that can be eliminated in just 1 or 2 air raids, if I have of course at least 5 or 6 stacks. The second strike was the frigate's last.
That's mad.
With the frigate sunk, I can now shift my attention to the remaining ground forces. I decided to scout Saragossa and ended up eliminating an unlucky Spanish minion there. After that, I flew a bit further toward Madrid, and my radar picked up a ground signature. Without delaying, I paid it a visit using my patrol zone. It turned out to be a recon division, another easy target for my Star Destroyers.
Star Destroyers.
14 hours later, Madrid was under my control.
That's what he uses EAA.
Wasting
and
no time,
ASFs.
I dived into researching special forces. After that, I plan to research elite spec ops to counter Ukraine's attacks.
Yeah.
11 hours later, I spotted Norwegian ground troops near Gibraltar. Shortly after, he messaged me stating that he and Sweden were planning to attack Ukraine together, and asked me not to interfere. Considering that Sweden was not only actively engaging in diplomacy with Iceberg, but also trading with it, I figured their coalition was capable of anything. Unfortunately for them, they only suffered massive losses. I'll go over that in the next part.
Who the heck's Iceberg?
My next research will be Naval ASF Level 2.
All of them.
Additionally, I have already researched mobile anti-air.
He's got mobile AA.
To wrap up this episode, Spain decided to pay me a visit with his frigate, but it was swiftly taken down by my corvettes and aircraft.
It just gets on the border so nicely.
Apologies for the lack of action in this episode, because this campaign wasn't packed with battles. However, in the next part you will certainly witness the kind of traditional multi-front battles our videos are known for. See you soon.
Holy moly, guys. This guy's on another level. What do you reckon? Don't forget to go check out con_sweaty. Oh, he's just so good. It's a pleasure playing with him as well. It's good to watch him just spread out across the map on like day 1. It must be golden it. He is a cyborg. Oh man. Anyway, that has been 3 of these games we've reacted to. So, all parts. We will be back to do another one. What do you reckon of the thumbnail? Is that alright? How do you like that? I'm the little teacher. I don't know what to do. I was thinking, oh, how do we do this? And then it's one we can use for the future. Also, let me know what you think. Let Sweaty know what you think. Head over to his channel to have a look. I think we're going to learn a lot from this guy. I've already learned a bunch from the first few videos we watched. And obviously playing with him, I just watch him. I watch him all the time. Oh man. Well, thank you very much for watching this. If you have enjoyed it, please drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel for more daily content. And we'll be back with more reaction videos in the future. And I'll see you on them. Take care, everyone.